How did Novak Djokovic beat Berdych in 2014? Why has the defeat been recalled? In this video, we'll talk about what Tomas Berdych has said about the legend Novak Djokovic, and some interesting highlights from Roger Federer's last match, why he got emotional, and what things were exchanged between Nadal and Federer. Sounds exciting, right? So, let's begin. Firstly, how did Novak Djokovic beat Berdych in 2014? In Beijing in 2014, Novak Djokovic defeated Tomas Berdych 6-0, 6-2 to win the China Open title for the sixth time in a row, with a match point at 6-0, 5-0. After less than an hour, Novak played at a high level the entire time and was just 1 point away from a double bagel before Novak sealed the deal to win his 46th ATP championship and the 35th on hard courts. Tomas salvaged it and won 2 straight games. In the last moments, Djokovic was broken once and finished with 27 more points than Berdych. The Serb took 64% of the return points and made 6 breaks to advance quickly to the top. In the face of such a formidable opponent, Berdych was helpless, narrowly avoiding a double bagel and complimenting Djokovic after the match. Despite having played Roger Federer and Andre Agassi in their primes, Tomas acknowledged that he had never encountered something such before. The shorter and mid-range rallies were won by Novak, who effectively controlled his strokes and made his opponent take an extra shot. However, the Czech blasted a forehand mistake in the match's opening game and lost service. In Game 3, he made another careless forehand move that caused him to fall behind 3-love and give the Serb a more significant lead. In Game 4, Novak scored 4 straight points to increase the advantage before converting a break point from a 40-15 deficit. In the 5th game, Djokovic forced a mistake from Berdych to get the 3rd break. He then hit 3 winners in the next game for a 6-0 victory in 30 minutes. Up next, what has Tomas Berdych said about the legend, Novak Djokovic? After committing a double fault to begin the 2nd set, Tomas was broken at love, and Novak went on to win the next 4 games to take a 6-0, 2-0 lead. In Game 3, Djokovic broke for the 5th time straight to extend his lead. A short while later, he won with a forehand to complete his 10th straight game. After a fantastic point and a backhand cross-court winner in Game 5, Novak secured another break and served for the match at 5-0. After Djokovic's errant forehand, Berdych survived a match point and produced the 2nd break opportunity. Novak had another spraying forehand error and subsequently lost serve for the first time. The Serb served for the championship for the 2nd time at 5-2, after the Czech won the 7th game at love with an ace. With a forehand cross-court winner, Novak had 2 match opportunities, but he squandered them all. With a strong serve, Djokovic earned the 3rd match point and then converted it to win and maintain his spotless record in Beijing. I wasn't hurt and it felt okay throughout the tournament. The issue was that I encountered someone I had never met before at the final. That is how impressive Novak was today. There isn't much I can add to his tremendous performance. He swept me off the court. In my career, I've competed in over 600 matches against players like Andre Agassi and Roger Federer in their peak, but I have never had a situation like this. In the waning moments, I made an effort to diffuse some tension by giving a ball girl my racket. I had no other options because Novak played fantastic tennis. The outcome was irrelevant. I had to play the championship game in front of a crowded stadium while giving it everything I had. It felt similar when I trailed Novak 5-2 and was down a set in Rome. I suddenly stood up and took the victory, Tomas Berdych stated. I wasn't hoping for that today, but I at least tried something. Let's now move to the highlights from Roger Federer's last match. So, how did his last match go? At the O2 Arena in London, Federer announced the end of his career at the age of 41 in front of a roaring 17,500 spectators. What a remarkable career and game we have seen. After Roger Federer's final match, we bid farewell to the famous tennis player, the best we have ever seen. The Laver Cup doubles match on Friday saw Team World upset Team Europe, ending Roger Federer's career as a professional tennis player. Despite serving at match point in the decisive tiebreaker with longtime rival Rafael Nadal, Federer was unable to end his career on the ATP Tour with a victory. In a thrilling match, Americans Jack Sock and Frances Tiafoe prevailed 4-6, 7-6, and 2 and 11-9. The victory was won at the O2 Arena in London just before 12:30 a.m. local time, as a consequence of Alex de Minaur's previous victory over Andy Murray in the singles match. The competition this year was now tied at 2-2. The Roger Federer last match has been seen by the entire world. Up next, how did Federer feel after the match? After the match, Federer described how it felt to perform all of these actions for the last time. One final trip to the locker room, one final pair of laces to tie, and one final entrance onto a court where he was welcomed like a local favorite, just as he was against any opponent pretty much anywhere in the world. When he picked up the ball and approached the service line on match point, 2 hours into the match, following the conclusion of a crucial tiebreak, it seemed too staged and too flawless. One final serve, one final triumph. Sport, though, is more about harsh, hard truths than about fairy tales, and Sock and Tiafoe were the ones who played their one-match point more effectively. Federer had talked extensively since declaring his plan to retire about his 24 years on the tour, about how after his early years as a hot-headed ponytailed prodigy, he learned to compartmentalize results in his mind and cope better with failure. So the fact that he was magnanimous in defeat one more time, praising Sock and Tiafoe alongside Nadal at the net before embracing members of both Team Europe and Team World, came as no surprise. He told the crowd, "I wanted to feel like this at the end. It's precisely what I hoped for." But unfortunately, one more speech was required. So, how a tribute was given to the legend. A tribute film featuring Nadal, Federer's mother Lynette, and other participants was broadcast in the stadium during the first change of ends. At the same time, Novak Djokovic supported his two fierce opponents while sitting on the team bench. Even Federer was concerned about how his game would manage the occasion and its rust after not competing for 14 months following his 6-0 fourth-set loss to Hubert Hurkacz at Wimbledon and the knee surgery that followed. He performed marvelously. Federer's hands continued to be fragile, and he was unable to move at a full pace. Nevertheless, the tone was established by his opening act of the evening, a solid forehand volley winner. Federer came up with the first set on the line and won it with a winning forehand after serving rather well and maintaining order at the net throughout the first set. Up next, how were things between Nadal and Federer? There was a lot of happiness, even though they battled hard for one last victory. Nadal and Federer cracked numerous jokes and shared laughter. Djokovic and Murray frequently interjected with their conversations during changeovers, as the only other players capable of offering the pair tactical advice. Federer's great career ended after an exciting second break when a flat tiebreak forced a match tiebreak. Despite a strong start and a match point on Federer's serve at 9-8, they bowed out. Federer ultimately lost his cool as the game came to a close. He started crying, and Nadal cried with him the whole time. Throughout the ceremony, Federer gave many hugs to his co-workers and former competitors before finally hugging his troubled family as he exited the court. Lastly, what are some golden moments from his career? With 20 Grand Slam victories and 103 singles titles, the 41-year-old quits. He participated in more than 1,500 matches throughout his career and currently holds the record for 237 weeks in a row at the top of the world's rankings. With grace and style, Federer has displayed some of the best tennis ever played. However, he has balanced out the easiness with grit and resilience, two traits rarely mentioned but crucial to all of his success. His influence will linger throughout the tour, whether it's through the supporters who will stand by him, to the several other players who became weak-kneed supporters when he was around. Federer's impact on other players is evident, and many have tried to emulate some of his abilities to succeed. However, no one will ever be like him. What moment was your favorite from Federer's last match? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as we'll be bringing more exciting videos soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.